And there we are. Everybody, happy Hump Day, May 20, 2015. And we're here with William the Butler and Stizor.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Right.
Hopefully we'll get a couple more people in here. The first thing was, okay, I'll give you an...
Article number one.
Article number one, I'll give you a link. And seems to be a growing trend here. But HSBC Bank is going to start charging people for holding their deposits. Specifically, this is going. It's in the UK, Stizor, the first bank in the UK to announce this.
Oh.
Project, can you click on the article and then screen share it? As we go
Yeah, sure. Let me.
Because I can't scroll down, but halfway through the page for some reason.
Okay, hold on a second. Do you see it there?
Give it a second. Let's see if it...
Oh, it's from the Financial Times, yo.
Oh yeah, I got it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Funny thing, the first thing I look at this picture, I see this plane right away. I'm thinking 9/11. I don't know why.
You're brainwashed.
I know.
Where'd it go?
That's interesting. It's all blacked out. You can't read it because you've got to be subscribed.
I see.
Are you subscribed to the FT?
Not me.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's all blacked out.
Oh, hold on. You still don't see it? Interesting.
Yeah,
there
you
it
gotta
is. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now it's showed up. That's. Oh,
Yeah,
that was going away again.
Yeah,
What
it's
the-
Oh, wait, let me click on my picture. Maybe
It's
that'll
there.
help.
It's there.
How's
Yeah,
that?
it's there right now for me. I don't know about
Wow.
but
It was, and then it buggered off. That's strange.
Do you see
Okay,
it
well,
now,
you two talking about. You two talking about, and I'll just listen.
You don't see it, Sty?
No, it comes up with like blue blocks over the text. That's weird. I'm gonna click
I don't
again.
know. I have it on present, screen shared.
Yeah.
Let
Locked
me
again.
let me present it again. See if you see it now.
You know what? It's
you
probably
charge
my.
on deposits.
You know what I think it is? It's probably my ad blocker. It's blocking the whole entire article. It's like, it's shit! It's
Okay.
spam! Blocked. Well, anyway, keep talking about it. I can see your screen, so I can read it now anyway. So.
They're saying they're gonna charge for your deposits, right? Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Just don't-
deposit money, they're gonna charge you.
To put your money in it. That's going to be for really high interest earners, though. Probably.
Well, the article says the decision underlies extraordinary measures banks are taking to prevent their profit margins being crushed in a record low interest rate environment.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
true, they're like 0.5%. But also, the ironic part is, they charge us interest anyway on our stuff. Well, you know, bank charges and all that stuff. And they get the money from the government, more or less, for free anyway. That's how much they have to borrow the money from the central banks from as well.
But there's no money, man. There's no money. It's just digits. It's digits in a computer. It's credits. There's no real money. Nobody's going in a vault and bringing them truckloads of money. It's just a button click, and it's from fractional reserve banking. It's just it's not backed
bullshit
by
money
anything.
anyway.
Yeah, it's funny money. But they want to charge you for putting your money in there that you did with your hard labor. So I don't know, man. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, funny money.
Yeah, I can't see how they make even the claim that they're losing money. Yeah, they're borrowing money at 0%, right? And even though they're lending it out for, even on a mortgage, which would probably be the lowest, that they would charge, like, 2-3% now. But yet, their credit cards are still way up there. Especially if you have bad credit, you're paying 18, 20, 25% interest rate. How these banks claim they're losing money, and they were both bailed out. They're holding on to billions of dollars that they're afraid to let go of.
Well, maybe they've had a taste of bank bailouts, and we can look forward to another round of that. I don't know. I'm just bitter over the last bank bailout that we didn't get to vote for in the United States, but yet we're going to pay for.
Yeah, how can anybody? I mean, over the past 6 years, how can anybody save any money at these ridiculous rates that don't even keep up with inflation? You know, and they'll try to claim that inflation's like 2%, which is fucking bullshit.
Well, they
You
hold
know,
all the leverage, John. They hold
yeah,
every bit of leverage, even including that you can't even pull cash out in most places without a service charge. There's nothing that you can do with your money that they're not going to make a dollar off themselves.
Yeah.
The late fees are ridiculous. I mean, are you with this with the late fees? I mean, and service fees, which I don't know what they're doing. What kind of service fees? What are you cleaning off the credits? What kind of service fees? Everything's set up.
yeah. I mean, I'm at the point. I even closed my checking account with my bank because I had an issue with a credit card, and I just have a savings account, so just so I can cash checks, and I go into the bank myself, take it out. I don't even use a fucking debit card.
Yeah.
Give me the cash, and if I have to pay somebody, it's a money order. I don't care, um, and
Hey,
that's how
John.
I do it. And then I just I invest in
Imagine.
metals. I invest in metals for my insurance.
Yeah, imagine how much leverage they have if we move to a cashless society. Imagine how many different charges they could add in at every point of our transaction to make sure that they're getting more and more and more.
Hmm.
If you don't have the option of cash, you really have to play ball or you just don't get.
Yeah, you can start charging people that have money in their bank. I mean, what's the incentive to keep your money there? I don't.
There's got to be a better way. I mean, I don't understand why fractional reserve banking is not talked about more. The very idea that we can create money or that they can create money out of thin air, and that
Hmm.
this is a practice that has gone on and continues to go on. And if I'm not mistaken, this has something to do with the derivatives that the stock market are always dealing with, right? Is
Yep.
that so? They're creating these issues, and it's off balancing everything. It's we're destined for a collapse. Is what I'm saying. Playing that game, it's not a matter of if, but when.
When, yeah.
So it's good that you have some medals.
Oh yeah, I've been yeah, since late '90s actually.
A lot of people go for gold. My thing is silver.
Yeah, I do a little both. I've been doing over the years, which was nice. When I started, freaking silver was like $4 an ounce, and
Right.
gold was like $250 an ounce back then. And funny thing is, I was listening to it was a Christian radio broadcast, and they would have this show that came on. I forgot what it was called, Gold Line or something like that, and they'd be talking about it, and they kind of convinced me you know, to buy, even though they thought, well, I guess they did kind of predict the crash that was going to come happen in '08 there, but yeah, this was late '90s, and I said, all right, nice, can't hurt to buy a little, it's not going to go down to zero. Metals never go down to zero.
No. Well, I like the silver because there's lots of uses for it. I mean, there's
Hmm.
actual application that I use in my day-to-day life, and some people do that with gold. They can, I mean, if you're in electronics or something like that, gold it has an intrinsic value. But one thing I don't have any use for is that paper shit. I don't.
Yeah.
As often as I can, I try to unload that. I get the cash and I unload it as fast as I can on something. And what matters to me is my if I use this system in order to get self-sufficient myself, to get off the grid. That's my goal. Is to just because I don't want to be dependent on anybody. I don't want to be dependent for electricity. None of that. I want to go solar.
Mm.
And then after that, I'm not worried about what happens. If the dollar collapses, let it collapse. I'll feed myself off my own land and try my best to defend it.
I'd
And
love to
that's
go
some
solar,
conspiracy.
but it's just so expensive. Still. I mean, it's getting cheaper, it seems, but it's still expensive.
Yeah, the most important thing I found is fresh water. If you can get fresh water somewhere, it doesn't matter how rough the terrain is. If you can dig a well on it and get fresh water, some of the most worthless seeming land can provide for your needs really well. It just takes time to kind of slowly convert it. That's what permaculture is. and that's one of the things that we're studying here on the homestead. Me and my sons.
Oh, nice. So you used to have a guy used to hang around for a while, but he hasn't been around. Um, Grant Montgomery. You remember Grant at all? A
Yeah,
number of months
yeah,
ago.
this Grant the Squirrel. I
He,
used to call him Squirrel because he was a veggie.
yeah, very heavy into permaculture. He used to tell us about it and everything.
It's cool, Grant.
Um,
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while, man.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
it's the future of like regreening the desert. That's one of the things this guy Jeff Lawton, who's leading this kind of study, he's going to these desert areas and trying to use just the rainfall and the moisture in the environment to green it, to grow things, and he's doing it.
Nice.
He's using these principles, and it's amazing what's happening. The strange thing is, what's sick about it is it's not being covered. There's no interest in it from the media or anything else, and it seems like this would be a very important thing for people to understand.
Yeah, well, they just want to forget about life really and stuff, don't they? And just be a dumbass sheep.
Yeah, and that's all well and good until Walmart doesn't have food anymore.
Yep.
when you can't go to the local store and get your grub, man, you're gonna be looking around at each other going, you don't look so bad. I could eat you.
No, but that's the thing is, like, I'm glad that, like, I've got a bit of land. I know it might be the biggest plot of land, but at least I've got enough to grow food if it came to that crazy Mad Max, styly. But then people probably want to rob me for my food anyway, so.
Well,
yeah.
that's why you need partners, man. Like you
And
need
guns.
to find yes, you need guns, but you need yeah, you kind of need a network because doing it on your own, as I found out, you can't. I mean, it's so in the beginning getting set up is so time consuming, and there's so much to learn. If you're gonna maintain solar, you need to learn how to install solar. You need to learn how it works. If you're gonna do permaculture and have like raise animals and plants at the same time, you need to learn what they eat, because like you'll find out that geese won't eat strawberries, and they're great for a strawberry field. They'll do most of the work for you, but you put them in any other environment and they're going to destroy your crops. But there's benefit from using everything together, and that's what should be taught in schools. I think if we can all survive off the land, nobody's going hungry.
Yeah.
So you network with people, you learn the stuff you need to learn, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
If that happens, Monsanto will go out of business.
And that will be the greatest day in human history, I think.
Yep.
Or at least for agriculturalists. What I hate about South Carolina is their restrictions on raw milk crossing the borders. We can't get like raw goat milk or dairy, and it's really cheaper for us to get this stuff locally.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with beef. We got guys over here that raise cows organically, like free range, and then he slaughters them, and it's cheaper for me to buy in bulk, 20 or 30 pounds of beef from this guy and not have to go back to the grocery store, the rest of the year for it.
What area are you in again?
I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania, and in my area, fortunately, there's a lot of those fresh markets.
Yeah, farmers markets.
Farmers markets, yeah. So they're selling the eggs, the veggies, fresh from the farm. So quite a few of those around here. But yeah, it takes a lot of work to get a garden going, and it is time consuming, like you said, and it's hard to do when you're trying to just make a living and do everything else.
We're having a slow start on some new ground, and this spring I don't know that we're going to do very well. But we're prepared to. We've got stores. We're gonna be fine. But I don't think we're going to do near as well as I'd hoped. We have a lot of clay here, and it's hard to grow in clay.
Make pots then. Make pots so people can grow the plant pots. Put stuff in plant pots. Like if I had clay, I wouldn't mind the clay, but yeah, I'd be making use of it.
Oh yeah, well,
my pots and stuff and salad pots and cups and I just buy a big ass furnace or some stuff.
What I'm doing is I'm turning the soil. I'm taking anything organic that like leaves and stuff, because people get rid of all their leaves. And me and my sons have built fences around certain areas that we hope next year is going to be good garden. And we take all those leaves and like mulch, anything we can find, and we put in there. And we also throw all the animal leavings, if you know what I mean, in there. And by next year, that there should be a maybe 4 or 5 inches of topsoil for us to use. And then we will be able to do it next year. But anytime you move, and we just had an unfortunate event that caused us to have to move, you have to, I guess, check the soil that you got and make the adjustments you need to do. So it's not one of those things that you can just start up, because who hasn't like tried to grow a plant in their yard and watch that shit die? I did that with tomatoes for like 2 years when I wasn't serious about gardening. And it was just horrible to watch your plant.
Well, the thing is as well, you can also use other people's like waste for like compost as well. Just spread it around, because that's what the soil needs. It needs crap. It needs food stuff. It needs that shit. Because if it's just clay,
Well, you're right. You can, and some people do go that far. They use composting toilets in their house, and they use their own. Yeah, but I got so many ducks and geese and chickens, and I got some goats. I mean, I got plenty of crap if I need it.
No, it's all like
I have a cesspool grandfathered in my property, but unfortunately it's in the front of my property. But the fucking grass around there grows the fastest. Fucking it's crazy.
Yeah, that's because of all the lovely nutrients in the in the poop. in the poop. It's in the poop. All the power in the poop.
All that bacteria and stuff, man. It revitalizes the soil. If there's a thing, the concept called Hey, St. Thomas.
Tommy. Welcome, St. Tommy.
What's up? America.
Good morning.
Hey, laddies. What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Not much, bro. How are you on this fine day?
Pretty good. The psychosis is way back. I'm feeling pretty good. Doing pretty good. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have a full pack of cigarettes. That's always nice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Sorry to be boasting there. Yes.
Gonna go mug my neighbor for a cigarette.
Yeah, give him a chance to be generous. There you go.
Hey, man. It's good to give. It's really good to give.
It is. Yeah, especially to me.
Good to me.
If you either give me a cigarette, I'm gonna take a dump in your lawn.
Oh man.
Right out there, and put it on YouTube.
It would be worth it just to send you on your way. Yeah.
Well, at least do it in his garden.
Recycle.
To help.
Okay. I know we started talking about this bank situation.
Yeah, the bank situation.
I'm sorry I hijacked that whole thing.
Nah, it's okay. It's cut. It's all related. It's all good. Shit, I wonder.
You want to do a different story now that San Tomas is here?
Damn, wait a second. All right, okay. So the banks are going to start charging you to put money in your bank. I don't know if you heard of any of that, Tommy.
Damn,
that's what we started with, yeah. The freaking UK, yeah. European Central Bank.
Well, HSBC is all big.
Damn ballsy of them, isn't it? I'll tell you, man.
Move.
Creative fees. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another, 1% or 2% putting it in? Now, I'm used to the fee for getting it out, but now to put it in.
Yeah, they're going to keep turning the screws, and people are going to find another way to do business. No, they won't. No, what am I talking about? People aren't going to do that. They're going to keep paying.
Yeah, people like to think slavery is gone, but it's still here. It's just in a...
Jeez, where were you yesterday, man?
A different face.
I could have used your help in a hangout yesterday. We were
oh, wait a minute. Is that what, they were getting on you for your libertarianism, right?
Oh, so yeah. Did you come into that?
I heard a little bit of. Yeah, I was listening a little bit.
Yeah, we started talking about things that I thought would be best not talked about live on the air.
Mm-hmm.
About my own personal situation. And I was like, man, I've said that before. I don't really want to throw that out there, but old boy was jumping on me pretty hard.
Who was jumping on you?
Star Splitter.
Doesn't matter. I hear
Doesn't
you.
matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
He's a
the
young
topic
fella.
was gun control, right?
That's how it started out. Yes.
Okay, that's the party I was listening in on, the gun control. Gus was totally against anybody having guns. Or something like that, right?
He's from Canada. So, you know, they don't do guns unless you have all kind of special permits or whatnot. Long barrel, black powder, musket, or muzzle loaders. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. They're pretty strict. They really are.
Nothing like an AK-47, you know, to get that warm, fuzzy feeling.
I like it. It might be cheating to hunt with that, but I find it effective.
It damn sure is. It takes it right back. That half the leg of a deer just pulls it right off, you know. It's great.
What's up, Seth?
Good morning, Seth.
Que pasa, Holmes?
Mm. All right, hey, I'll go on to the next news story. Let's see.
Yeah, right there.
This is from the
Thanks.
Jerusalem Post. I'll put a link in the side. I'll try to get a screen share here for our.
Oh, good. I have a Zionist streak in me. Maybe it'll be good.
Totally off topic, but this 65-year-old woman, a Hasidic woman in Israel, had a baby.
Wow.
Those risky senior citizens, boy.
I have some questions.
Even if I don't have
All you need to know is Jesus provides. That's all you need to know.
Who's the father? Who's the father?
Jesus.
How old was the father?
Jeez, why do you all want to know? Can we just move on to the next?
Video at 11. Yes, that's it. I bet she has good credit.
The father is 67. Look, yeah,
What?
they were married 46 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Gave birth to a healthy baby boy by cesarean section.
Wow.
Made her the oldest woman in Israel to give birth.
Oh
Not
my
far behind, there is a record holder, 67, which I thought it was Sarah, though, at 95. Wasn't it Sarah?
They don't count that. Wow, that's crazy. And good for them, too. And good for them.
Yeah.
But that kid's going to be really, that's, you know, everybody's been like, is that your grandparents? No, my mom. I was just breastfeeding 5 minutes ago. You didn't see that? Yeah.
Wow, hold on. How old is she? 67?
Oh, yeah.
She's 65. The husband is 67.
Wow.
But apparently, oh no, it was donated sperm, so it wasn't even his sperm.
Wow, that makes it even more glorious.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Came from Russia.
Hey, come here, boy. Come here.
That's crazy.
Come here. Donate there. Yeah, there.
Right there, buddy.
Oh wait, they might have done this in Russia because it says here in the article it's illegal in Israel to perform
Intravenous.
in vitro fertilization on a woman over 54.
That's where they use the turkey baster, you know, or I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. Maybe, maybe the Petri dish method. I don't know. Pretty
But,
wild.
Yeah,
This-
that's
this-
pretty amazing.
Is that the babe right there? Was that her?
I don't think so. It's just a picture. I don't. Yeah, those hands are not 65-year-old hands.
The fertile babe.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mama.
What did I say?
Oh.
Just
Wait
look
a
at a
minute.
woman's hands, and I think you kind of, you can't hide the age too well.
I gotta wonder why a 65-year-old woman wants to have a baby. Because I mean, she went. It was donated, seed, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she went looking for this at 65.
Boredom. That's what boredom does for you, dude.
She's like, well, I don't think I've had menopause yet, which would be weird. Wouldn't that have happened already? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I told you, dude, Jesus works in mysterious
And it was
ways.
twins. It was twins. She had twins.
Wow.
Yeah, but you might be joking, but it may take a damn miracle for a 65-year-old woman to have a baby. Because don't they? It's like 40 and then boom, menopause, right? 40 to 45, and then that's it. So how do you get to 65 without that happening?
Right.
I don't know.
I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant to this. I don't know, but I know that's creepy.
Okay, you go in there and you harvest an egg, which is still in there. You put it in a petri dish in a nice, warm, fertile environment.
Yeah.
Then you get a donor. Squirt, squirt, add to petri dish.
Oh my God.
I know.
Just like
Hey, inquiring minds want to know. Then cook in petri dish for 6 weeks until things look like they're going to, develop right along. You've got a couple of youngins developing there. Then go in, implant in the old babe, and voila. 7.5 months later, go back in, C-section, extract the youngins. That sounds like it was hormone produced,
Yeah.
You make it.
They probably jacked her up with hormones. And,
You make it sound like it's so easy. I just put it in the microwave.
You could do this in your backyard.
Oh yeah.
3 minutes later, a baby comes out of the microwave.
You get a home kit. It's fine.
comes with newborn diapers, the little bitty ones, whole thing.
Your home cesarean kit. Yeah,
That's it.
Granny ain't pushing one of them babies out. That's not gonna happen. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Jeez, next topic.
I know the image.
Pushing it out. It's more like an alien exploding. Pushing shit. It's nasty. How old are you again? 65.
Hey, baby.
How you keep this thing running so well? All right, jeez.
Move along. Move along.
Help us.
Oh, God.
Wow, don't show my missus that kit. No, don't do it.
Okay, let's see what other kind of headlines we have here.
Wait, don't you have a youngin' in the oven?
Yeah, well, not my oven, my wife's.
Oh,
I mean, that miracle's rolling around. I don't want to be mistaken for one.
I'm glad you've matured out of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy. Yep.
Wow.
September.
Congratulations. And
Thank
my
you.
condolences. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be the last time, though. I will not later on ask my wife if she wouldn't mind having another one. And we've got a kit sent to us by San Tomas de Dios.
I don't know. Wait until she gets to 65.
And then you might get that 7-year itch again and go for it. That's it.
70-year itch, more like.
So you're up to 14 youngins now, William, is that right? 14.
This is number 4. This is number 4. Let's
14, 4.
not Amish or Mormon or whatever it is.
Oh,
No, and I wasn't expecting this. We weren't expecting this, but there it is. I mean, we knew it could happen, but we didn't think.
Yeah, weren't kind of shooting.
Yeah, when she was just riding my dick, didn't think anything was gonna happen. Oh well.
Well, I figured with as much weed as I smoked that I would basically be sterile at this point.
It's like what? Lies.
Yeah, apparently that's not true about the count. So anyway, we won't talk anymore about my seed.
Unless it is true.
Maybe I'm just that virile. I don't know.
If it looks like the mailman, you'll know.
I just shake hands with women and they end up pregnant. I'm like that.
Wow, that's magic. I got hands like Jesus. Perform miracles.
Or at least that's how I tell my wife they get pregnant. I don't really.
By the way, have you met my sister?
You still trying to pawn off your sister?
Yeah, bless her heart. Yeah. She's a sweet girl.
They keep returning her. We don't know why.
Mhm.
What is this? No, is this like really a story?
Yeah, this is a
Come
story.
back like
Surprise,
8 years ago,
surprise.
This is a story all about how
No.
Yeah, but it says in privacy, Americans lack trust in government poll. Think about what that's saying. Like when they think no one's listening, Americans lack trust in the government. No, but because it's all about our privacy, right? The NSA checking up on us. This is not news.
No, it's not. It's not.
They've been raping our privacy for a while now.
What you ate for breakfast at McDonald's 5 years ago is a matter of public record, or government record. Everywhere your cell phone goes, every click you make, every cake you bake.
I'll be watching you.
That's it. That's it.
Well, to our Homeland Defense, who's listening today via the NSA's network, good day. And there's no reason to bust into my house and put me in cuffs. There's everything I've ever said that offended you was just a joke. That was for them.
Yes.
Yeah, this article says that just 6% of adults surveyed said they were very confident that the government agencies can keep their records private and secure. Yeah, they're probably government workers, that 6%.
Like, think about your emails. I mean, there was a time when you really felt like nobody but the person you were sending that to was reading that. And then now there's like no doubt in anybody's mind that when you send an email, there's probably a whole bunch of motherfuckers reading that shit. You know?
I heard that it goes into a giant pool of data.
Yeah.
That is not specialized to you, but they have search engines that if they want it to be, if they want to create a dossier on any individual, they can easily do it.
That's
Right.
more accurate. If Google has, like, for example, use Gmail. Google has access to the email that you send and receive. The government doesn't have direct access to that kind of thing, but they can always with a certain kind of it's not a warrant, it should be.
It should
certain
be.
kind of request, right? Certain kind of request
subpoena?
from the House of Court can request it from Google, and Google has to give that up, and they're not allowed to say how many of these requests they get.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is Google has some of their servers are out of the country, so it's not protected like under
Yes.
American law.
Yes, and all the NSA has to do is put a tap on the uplink or any, they can extract the data apart from U.S. law, apart from any prohibitions of U.S. law. That's comforting, ain't it? Ain't that just-
Basically, they're the Gestapo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have the capability much more than the Gestapo ever dreamed of, or the
Yeah,
Stasi.
actually, that's actually fucking true as well.
Yeah, they don't have to be as hands-on. You don't even have to be aware of how bad your privacy is being invaded.
Yeah.
And it's one thing when they bust in your house and go through all your documents or something, because at least there was, I saw you do that, or at least I could tell someone's been here. You don't know what's being done, right now. There's no way to know.
It must be a unique view on, as a sociologist, it must be a unique view to know every click that a group of human beings have ever made. It's must be a very unique view, a very inside view.
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm through. I'm just rambling.
I was going to say, think of the kind of, you were talking about the dossier could be created off of that information. Think about just in a Facebook account, when you like something, how much information, or on YouTube, when you like certain videos, you could do a psychological profile on somebody, with a month's worth of their history, easily.
And predict when they were going to blow a gasket. They'll be freaking out about January of 2016. They go and slam off. Let's lay the audit on them in November. Yeah. All ominous stuff. Plenty of stuff out there that's fearsome, frightening, potentially very frightening. But there is hope in the masses. I feel like a little bitty guppy in a sea of guppies, and in that I feel some safety. One of gazillions.
Just skimming over some other articles here, see what's interesting.
How's the drought out your way, Seth?
We got some rain, not nearly enough. We're still in serious drought status.
Well, you're in California, huh?
Yeah.
I heard that what they got like. I don't know how accurate these pictures are, and they were showing pictures of the reservoir. I mean, they're saying less than a year's worth of water there.
Yeah. So, from my understanding, I mean, I've kind of looked into it a little bit. I've skimmed it, not a lot, but I don't see a lot of people challenging this. It seems like that's the general consensus.
Yeah, they're gonna run out at the end of the year, apparently. No water in Cali, man.
I don't think the end of the year. I think about this time next year.
And
Well,
that's
still no water. That's still fucked up. I mean, that's the entire state, right?
So there's certain things that they're trying to do, but I don't think any of them are really going to amount to solving the problem. One of the things is they're paying people to tear up their yards and plant what is it called? Succulents and cacti and more natural what's the word we're looking for?
Well, what they're doing is they're making people make rockeries and shit, right? More natural plants to the natural environment, because everybody's got lawns, and lawns don't grow in Cali. Cactuses do, though. Because everyone waters the lawn, right, so it looks nice and fresh and green and shit, and they're like, stop doing that. Like, we've got no water left. Yeah. Can you just stop?
So the state is paying people to tear up their lawns and replace it with rock formation, succulents, and more indigenous plants.
Yeah. No, that was on the news a few weeks ago, that actually.
Now that you'll run out of water if trends hold to their current setting, to their current frequency of rainfall, that if trends hold, if the drought holds for another year.
It's not so much rainfall, because rain really doesn't replenish the reservoirs that much. What we need is snowfall in the mountains.
Yeah. I mean, the whole weather system's gone bonkers though. Anyway.
The old trickle
down. Yeah. Piss on my shoe and all that.
Our rainwater basically goes to the ocean, or floods and then evaporates. The rainwater doesn't do much. It's snow that we do.
And you need fresh water as well. That's also another problem.
So Seth, are people doing anything about it? What's the sense over there? I mean, they see less than a year. I mean, that's a short amount of time. Are people stocking up on bottled water? Should I buy stock into bottled water now, or?
You can buy stock of bottled water anyway.
I was going to say probably, because water's one of the most highly priced commodities anyway, because there's not enough fresh water on the world anyway. Well, in the world, I should say, not on the world. In the world.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm worried about it, but there's not much I can do. I'm conserving water as much as possible. I'm probably not conserving enough water, but are
you bottling water for yourself, Seth? I mean, saving it there in the house and stuff.
I always carry water with me, but I typically don't buy bottled water. I buy a case of bottled water, and then when I'm done with it, I refill it a few times. So, but not like that helps anything.
Is the water that comes out of the faucet, is it drinkable there? I mean, could you just bottle that and save it? Don't even have to buy it, but
Yeah, I think so. I think most, I think Niagara, over here, I think they bottle basically municipal tap water.
I saw they were showing I don't know what company it was, and they have those automatic sprinklers, and the fucking thing was going on while it was raining. This is in California. Like, you're supposed to be saving water, and they got the fucking sprinklers going on while it's raining.
It was a smart sprinkler, timer and all. Oh yes.
Sty, did you get the roof fixed?
Yeah, you know what I did? I cheated. I just made another block and put it on the top because I was like, I've got no idea how to fix that, right? So I just made a block and I just.
I saw a minute ago you were looking at that. There's a ceiling.
Yeah, it's got one now because basically I cheated, which is the funny part, but I just cheated and put another one over the top. It's just like, well, fuck you. Just fuck you. I can cheat because
More than one way to get a cat.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, fuck you then. I'll make my own roof. God damn it. So now I've got one. Which is kind of funny. So yeah, I mean, I'm just basically gonna texture. This is only a rough one. Basically, I still need to fix up the texture. Something I'm not happy with, and that's how I like looking at it. Like, there's an error there. That's black. But add this one, and then I'm gonna add these two, and then I'll be finished. And then I'll probably do the roof next, actually.
Very nice. Very nice.
Big block.
Oh,
And then I'm done.
Came and went.
Roomy.
Probably fix these doors because these doors look a bit wank. They look too bright. They look a bit weird.
Well, congratulations on that fix, man.
Yeah. Fuck the ceiling. I rock. That's all I know.
You dominate.
Domination. Oh yeah.
All right, bro, Joe. What's next? What we got? Please, no more grannies giving birth, man.
No, I can't cope with people giving birth to like some shit.
Excuse me. Oh, it's okay.
Can you imagine the kid could come up with fucking wrinkles as well? Ooh.
You know,
Smoking a cigar or something. Yeah.
that woman
Coming out with cataracts and arthritis,
Pops out in a wheelchair. How
face
you
spots.
Cassie. No,
You know, I wonder if they have like a Medicare plan over there that perhaps covers pregnancy. And I mean, you know.
Yeah, you need insurance just for the baby.
Yeah.
How long are you gonna live? I've got no idea. My mum's 65. Anytime now, she could pop her clogs. Like, she could die the same day.
she won't mean it until it's like 7 or 8, you know.
More likely than not, their parents are going to die before he even becomes a teenager.
Yeah, that's. It could die the next year. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah,
They
but
could die anytime.
can you imagine the gynecologist or the whatever they call obstetrician who gets
Oh
the
no!
file?
Oh no!
He gets
oh,
the
no.
file and he's like, what the hold on, yo, look at this.
I've got to put my hands in there. That's what he's thinking. He's like, ah, that's a mess.
He's got his cell phone out. He's just going around. Yeah, people aren't gonna believe this. I gotta kind of catch some pictures on the sly here. This is her. It's real.
Put it on Facebook. Yeah, that's it.
Is that a fucking alien? No, just you would wish to know what it
The
is.
caption is
Not
just
alien.
"Told you, bitches."
Alien baby. Yeah, it's from the National Enquirer.
Man, that was the craziest article. Jeez.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
It's like the Octomom. You know, there's just some places you shouldn't venture. There's some things that you shouldn't experiment with.
Yeah.
Elvis, born again in Russia. Yeah, that's it. The 67-year-old man.
Yeah, well, we're not short of any interesting news stories. Here's the next one.
Oh boy. Fingers crossed.
Brace for it.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm just gonna wait till you screen share it, man. I'm not even gonna click on it. I know better.
Okay. Gay rodeo tests tolerance in Arkansas, the hotbed of rights fight.
What?
All right. Okay.
What?
I feel like I'm being baited right now.
High-heeled cowboy boots. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They were already wearing the chaps, right?
This is the link. Oh, here, let me screen share for you. There it is. You see it?
Oh wow.
Click on it here.
You know what's going to become a fad in the United States? Gay pink cowboy boots.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying that's. I don't know. Gay rodeo. Can't they?
Yeah.
Just
This picture is of
gay-
Raymond Norris, 45, rides a steer while competing in the wild drag race At the
Oh, boy.
International Gay Rodeo Association's rodeo in the Rock in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now,
Okay,
apparently,
I-
they do it every year, but this is the first year they actually advertised it.
Has that cow no shame? Look at that
cow. Oh God.
Well, don't. Okay, yeah.
Well,
There's so much to say here, and it just.
Go ahead.
No.
So much to say,
No.
so little to contribute.
Nope, because I don't know how to say what I want to say. I don't know what's PC. I don't.
Oh, don't worry
I've got
about
6 or 7 jokes right now, and
Go ahead, give
none
us
of
one,
them.
please.
I just like the whole riding the stallion thing. That's just like, yep, there's
No,
one
let me-
joke. Like there. You'd think we were like fucking homophobic or not, but come on, it is funny.
look at the hairnet. It looks like somebody's sporting a hairnet there. Yes.
The first time they had to tell the cowboy to stop sitting on the saddle horn there.
It looks like his boyfriend's trying to push him up there. What are you doing? You're not giving me that much attention.
But here's the thing. I mean,
Get off, Robbie!
all right, I'm gonna try and take a serious run at this here.
Oh, well, good for you. I'm just going to listen for you attempt to try and do it. So, you know.
All right, no, I gotta. I mean, because
I was interested in one of your jokes.
I'm sure they'll come out. I'm sure they'll come out because I don't know if I can
Okay.
keep my mouth shut. I'm saying this would feel like a bit of a slap in the face if you're a resident over there, and it's kind of like it's almost like, yeah, this is our tradition. This is what we do, and you're not going to join it. Instead, you're going to do it in drag and just kind of make a mockery out of it, and not to mention the trauma to the cows and steers. So I don't know. I just feel like you're causing a divide that doesn't need to be there. You know?
Yeah, all I'm thinking of, right, and this is my honest opinion, imagine that in England, like gay fox hunting. Like, no one would have that at all. But some idiots would be like, yay, let's do gay fox ride. And it's just like, what? Are you being serious? Yep. It's like, oh God, there we go.
You know, because like, I'm sorry, because you're not supposed.
You know you want to laugh. Just laugh.
No, I'm trying to be. I'm saying I got.
And this is like right in Clinton's backyard too, right? Little
I'm done. I'm done. I can't.
Hello.
It's the local meeting.
I'll read the
Heterosexuals
What's-
Anonymous meeting. Yes. The gay radio.
You know we're going to get hammered for just telling jokes right. We're going to get hammered like for homophobes. Just for finding that actual subject funny.
right.
I blame this all on Brokeback Mountain. Every last bit of this is because of that damn movie.
I blame the cows. It's all the cows' fault.
I blame it on those other kids at Scout Camp back in '74.
Yeah, the one with the stinky finger. I remember that guy.
Why was he sticking it up the cow?
But according to the article, this is the 16th one they've had. Drew 75 contestants, far outnumbering spectators. That's why.
Makes sense.
They couldn't sell all the tickets. They got, so.
And they're from a dozen states and Canada.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good. All hoping to qualify. Oh, I guess this is part to qualify for the International Gay Rodeo 2016 finals in Las Vegas.
But why can't they just join a normal rodeo? Why did they have to make it like a gay thing? It's like, I don't get that, right? I don't mind you being gay, but why do you have to like make everything about being? Can't you just
Exactly. Yes,
like,
that's what I was saying, man. Thank you.
why not just join rodeos? I mean, I'm pretty sure the skill of a rodeo riding person probably doesn't matter if you're gay or not. Though, whatever, it's have
But
some.
you can't, because you can't do it in drag style. That's the part
right.
that
Oh, okay.
This is in drag. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's why I meant kind of like a slap in the face.
That's just fucking dumb, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they had full coverage on ESPN too. I think. Listen.
Yeah, but you gotta get hair down that shit. Come on.
Still nobody watched.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, apparently for years no one was allowed to advertise it because there's no same-sex marriage in Arkansas. And that's a Bible Belt.
That's
There are no
dangerous,
dead
though.
cows working. That's it.
Oh, what's going on here?
So was there a ban at the regular rodeos to keep the people from cross-dressing as they rode the bulls? I mean, I don't know if they have like a,
Well, I
a
think they
uniform.
got, no, I think they got health and safety laws though, where you know, if you wear crazy shit, it might send the bull crazy. Think of the poor bull. You know, bull's like, what the fuck? The fuck? No, I am pissed. Get
wait.
that shirt off. Have you seen this Tiffany shirt? That pink flowery shit. I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
I've ridden a horse before, and it's not, if you're not used to it, it's not a very comfortable proposition. And I can't imagine being in drag would make it any more pleasurable at all.
That's fucking nuts.
You're going to crunch up your raisins there.
Yeah.
Let's make things real interesting, and let's have the furries. You know those people, the furries?
Or the bronies. Wouldn't the bronies be into this kind of stuff? It's got horses and...
I don't know who the bronies are. What's the bronies?
Oh, it's those
Bronies are people
dudes
like
that... No, it's not just any horses.
It's a new
My Little
culture.
Pony.
The Baronies are a new culture, all about some animated series of it's almost indescribable. Tell them what the Bronies are, William.
It's
I mean,
indescribable. There you go. In fact, you got it right the first time, I would say.
In the 1980s, there was a show, My Little Pony. Right? I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but they had these little
Magic
plastic toys with the little hair and the mane and all that, and you brush the tail and the hair.
It was like Barbie with it was like fucking horse Barbie.
Yes, and these are grown-ass men that are our age that are coming out saying, we love My Little Pony, and they're making YouTube videos, brushing their hair, and brushing it's like the fuzzies, it's like the cosplayers, it's just a whole new cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, these people I would be closely watching.
But I'm saying these people would be the perfect to co-opt in this, rodeo thing, because they could like brush the hair of the horses and stuff and the tails, and they could put makeup on the riders, and it could just be fun. Is that offensive? Was that offensive?
No.
Okay.
That sounds okay to me.
But you know about the furries, though. Do you know the furries, William?
Not personally, but I've heard. Are these the ones that dress up, or are these the ones?
Yeah, these are people. They have. It's a fetish. They want to dress up like animals and have sex. Yeah,
like
so
panda bears or something.
Yeah,
I do that, but just when people don't expect it, I like to put on a bear costume and run out and jump on them and dry hump them. Just dry hump them. And then run off into the woods, marking my territory.
Well, would that be the next thing, the furries rodeo? That would be kind of interesting. Fucking scared the shit out of the fucking cow. The bull. Fucking giant rabbit jumping on its back.
That's an anime.
I would love to watch that, though. That would be a guy in an Easter Bunny outfit getting flipped off the back of a seriously angry Bronco.
That would be kind of funny.
El Toro! What?
No, I don't understand the fuzzies, but I have heard. Are these the same people that make love to stuffed animals? Okay, one of them makes furries, or the people that dress in the
furries. They dress in animal costumes. And
who are the ones that make love to the stuffed?
That's down in Mexico. Those side shows,
Bring your own stuffed animal.
El Toros, man. El Toros.
Oh, God.
That is not the hat dance, I assure you.
Well, this is Hump Day. This is Hump Day. About humping.
God, I'm fucking crying.
And to anyone that's out there humping stuffed animals, as long as you're not hurting anybody, that's fine. Just don't make YouTube videos about it, please.
Yeah. Stop it.
And don't email them to William at williamofthebutler@gmail.com. No, don't email them to him.
Oh, Tommy.
Sorry, man. That's just laying it on the thing. Sorry.
Only in America.
Really?
No, screw it. Go ahead. Send me the videos. I'm gonna find out who you are, and I'm gonna send it to your mama. You go have that talk.
I bet the NSA watched them for a laugh. They're just running through the machine. What's the day, boys? I don't know. Let's watch some fucking crazy people ride fucking Broncos. Motherfuckers. I bet you got like. Yeah, there's probably some like little extremist group that does it naked. I bet you.
You got a whole nother ESPN channel for that. It's ESPN Weird.
You know.
You can
El Broncos. Like what?
I think you got to mix all these people. The cosplayers that get out there, they play their role-playing games, but they dress up and they hit each other with like styrofoam weapons and stuff. There's got to be a way to mix the furries in with them, and you got to come up with a sport that they can do.
Yeah, like a pay-per-view.
The bronies, the bronies can actually dress up like the horses, and then the
unicorn.
The gay bull riders can ride the bronies.
Yeah, that'd fucking.
And try and hit the furries.
Brony porn, that would be.
While the cosplayers fight. That's it. We got it.
That would be called Furby porn.
it would be called Too Weird to Mention.
Yeah, Furby porn. Right there. Oh, come on, really? No, wrong one.
All right, give us another, Brojo. That horse is beaten.
Yep, we burned that one. We send that one to a press, but let's see what else we got here.
Well, just to finish up here, it does say in the article that I didn't know this is the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court is expected to rule in June whether to strike down bans on gay marriage nationwide.
Yeah, that's not gonna pass. Oh, yeah, bans! I thought you said. Well, hold on. To ban
strike down bans.
Yeah, that means get rid of it. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna happen in the Constitution. The same thing they found here. The law is it's the law that gives marriage its thing, not actually religion itself. So they're gonna have to give it up. Exactly what happened over here when they went through the law books. Where does marriage come from? Oh shit, the state sacraments it via the law. Sorry about your luck, but yeah. Gay marriage is a thing because the state gives you the law to be married, nobody else. You can be married in the eyes of God, but that don't mean shit to nobody. But if you want to get married in the eyes of the state, yeah, marriage is totally different. So, yeah, welcome to the 21st century America.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
and you heard it here.
Yeah. It's real.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing that's pissing off people who don't like the idea, in my opinion, which you can say, well, fair enough, is the people who don't like the word marriage being used by homosexuals, and you can see why, because the tradition is, not to, man and man or woman and woman, sadly. So
Who cares what somebody calls marriage?
Well, some people do, and that's the sad thing, Tommy. Where I don't. If you love somebody, I couldn't give a fuck. To be quite honest, it's got nothing to do with
yes. What difference does it make? What words they use? Yeah. If you don't want to use it, it's in your mind. Don't use it. Yeah. And if somebody else wants to use the marriage word, what business is it of yours? What anybody else thinks about it?
Honestly,
that's what comes down to me. I mean, I don't care what two consenting adults, keywords, do in their bedroom.
Wait, and the other keyword was in their bedroom. See, I don't care what your choice is, and I don't care where you shove your show. I just don't want it in my face. As long as you're not at my favorite restaurant, like making out and right there, booth next to me and saying
that's unfair though.
I'm saying I'm not saying if you're gay. I'm saying anybody, even if you're just.
Oh no! If you're gonna say anybody, yeah. Well, most people who do that are just fell in love. They don't do that for long.
That's what I'm saying. Public displays.
Out in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Public displays of affection are uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that's not directly involved.
That's because you want to beat your. That's because you want to beat your partner off the fucking head. You do, because it reminds you how nice it was the first time you kissed, and now it's like a pile of shit. You're like, God fucking damn it, where is the bitch?
Or if you got your kids, and then somebody's jamming a hand on the back of somebody else's pants, you're like, whoa, hey, the kid's over there, that car, that's an old one.
But wait, even a heterosexual couple who is just kissing, hugging is uncomfortable for you?
No, not kissing, hugging. I'm talking about making out. When they're in that corner booth and they're just.
Full on. Let's make babies before we're 65. We don't want to end up like couple on the last article.
When they get to the point where you're yelling at them like, go get a fucking room already or something like that.
Exactly. Like, dude, you're licking her
His ass. Stop licking his ass.
Yeah,
trying to eat here.
her waist. You're chewing on her waistband.
Not a salad bar, please. You know.
Yeah. You know. I
Well,
didn't. No one asked for the.
somebody.
No one asked for the meat.
Ooh, I lost audio. What was
Audio here.
That was
Audio.
That's Sty.
He's
dropped
back.
out for okay.
Hello, stupid headphones. Oh, this is a disclaimer for anybody who thinks
You
they
went out
fucking
again.
don't.
If they think, they fucking don't. You heard
Logitech
it.
don't make good headphones. There you go. Fuck you, Logitech. I want my $90 back. In fact, it's $150 in
That's
pounds, bitch.
That's hate speech. Watch it.
Fuck you.
Logitech.
Yeah.
Logitech.
You know what? I better kill. I don't even want you to think. To get, yeah. I apologize.
That's
There
it.
you
Thank
go. That's satire, apparently.
The thought police will come over
Yeah.
Logitech. Yeah.
No, you'll get some Logitech fanboy who'll just stumble across it and be like, "You hate Logitech."
You, Satan. Yeah.
Anywho's, yeah. I mean, you know, I've got like people who just gross out, and yeah, I wouldn't do that. But the whole marriage thing, I'm not asked. It doesn't bother me in the fucking slightest.
It did me for a while, but I had to ask myself why.
I could give a fuck. Get married to a tree. I don't care.
I think that it's probably a long time coming, you know, because it's been a closet thing. People have been living together. Everybody's had that couple that lives down the street that everybody kind of knows, but they're not talking about it, and you've been fine with it. But you know, hell, if they want to come out and say it, I don't care what you call it. If you're happy, and it's all between you and how you can get along with your neighbors. If you're going to be flamboyant, you're going to have more problems naturally, and if you're, when I say flamboyant, I mean just what I was talking about before, like the Chick-fil-A kiss-in where they're going to Chick-fil-A and you're standing out there and you're making out. I mean, don't provoke people. Don't do that. We'll be cool with it.
You kind of rub it in the face at that point.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's no need to.
And then if you laugh at them, it's hate speech. Come on, man. Come on, please.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just be respectful enough to not rub it in everybody's face, like, because if you don't want enemies, then that's the way you do it. You don't just deliberately, see what you were wrong about. See what you were wrong about.
Well, they're
going to hold their opinions if you do that. If you let them deal with it and you don't rub it in their face, they'll come around and be like, well, I don't know what I was worried about to begin with.
There are some who would ban premarital hand-holding. Oh, my God. It's like there's both extremes in both sides. Premarital hand-holding. Oh, it's obscene.
Exactly. Born out of wedlock. You think of all them poor people who were born out of wedlock and had the stigma that says them because their parents weren't married. It's the same shit, Oh, you can't have sex before marriage. Well, I don't believe in God, so go fuck yourself. Sorry about your luck.
Well, hey, there is no law about that. Premarital hand-holding, even though the law is fulfilled, the law says nothing about premarital hand-holding. This is just made-up religion. From some people who ain't getting laid.
Well, that's what I was telling you the other day when I was in your hang there, Tommy. I think when you come out from a spiritual aspect of God, where it's more between you and whatever that is, I think that's a bit more fair on people who don't recognize the established religion as whatever it's supposed to be. I think you can make a lot more rational cause for your actions if you say, I'm spiritual. I'm not talking about woo. I'm talking about just general purpose. I believe in X.
You're getting converted. You're getting converted.
No, I'm not getting converted. I've always been a rational guy. I don't believe in spirituality at all myself personally. But if people come at it from that aspect, it's better than going, well, I'm a dogmatic person who's willing to say it's a fact. And I don't think you've said that to me. And you didn't say it last time. You said, I believe this, and I do, based on faith, and that's fine. But if you start going, it's a fact because it's in a book, no, fuck off. You're not convincing anybody by yourself.
I sense substance to that objection. I can empathize, yes.
Well, that's I can emphasize with your position, myself.
If I could say I knew something, I would say it, but I don't know. So I don't most of the time.
That's the best way to approach it, though.
It does seem most truthful, most truthful. So, and by the way, I accept PayPal. I accept donations. Yes, yeah. In the name of God and Christ Jesus, yes.
Yeah,
PayPal.
When you said just now that that's the best way to be, to admit we don't know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that would be like being agnostic. But I hear agnostics catch a lot of shit from strong atheists for not making up their mind.
No, I think there's a different way Tommy approaches when he says I don't know than the way an agnostic literally goes I don't know, in the sense where they accept there might be something that created the universe in the shape of said God, but they don't know. Where Tommy, in my opinion, and you could correct me if you want, Tommy, on this. I don't mean to speak for you, but from what I've got, Tommy says, I believe in this God, this type of God, but do I know that for 100% certainty? No. And that's different from an agnostic, because an agnostic takes all religion into account and says, I don't know. Where Tommy is saying, is this version of this said particular God correct or 100%? I don't know, but I have faith, and that's why he says Jesus Christ and all that stuff. And it's up to him to say that, but he's a bit different in that regard.
I will accept any positive opinion expressed about me by anyone. Thank you, Sty. Yes, anything less than utter repulsion, hell no, I ain't correcting it. Sounds good to me. Yes.
And I mean, minus the Christianity, I'd be in the same thought. I have my concept of God, and it's nothing new. And I'm just going by what I'm observing, and yes, personal experience is involved in there, and that's all subjective. And I admit that I have no dogma. Ultimately, I don't know, and I think claim any concept of God, it's going to be limited. How can you actually know if there's this thing that's beyond, outside the universe, and it's got infinite intelligence above ours? How can anybody possibly say they know fully the character and what God is doing or whatever not? I mean,
well, maybe this super being has revealed itself to somebody else in a way that they can portray that they know. But I can't say that, I'm not there. It has not opened up the sky. It has not, called me on the cell phone. Mm-hmm. Have you ever called me on the cell phone? Never mind. Or spoken through another human being that I can definitively test tube, prove. It's just a very subjective phenomena. A super being, and somebody else it might be less subjective. I don't know. Maybe it did appear to somebody else. But hey, Bro Joe, next time you're talking to Source, tell him I want a raise, big raise now, if you will, sir.
Oh, you don't need me talking.
I know. I got a mouth. That's it. Yeah, that's true. But you got swag, you got swag. I can tell. I can discern that kind of thing. So anyway.
In some Eastern thought, it's believed that when you come to the idea, and I know this totally goes against the Christian thought, but but when apparently the ultimate awakening is to realize that you are God.
I've heard that.
Any concept of God is just going to be a reflection of what's going on in your own thoughts. So in a sense, you're creating the image of God in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now I've also heard that a parallel belief is that God in you, rather than you are God. It's God in you. But you've heard all that before. No reason to lay all that out.
I like the expression where I'm just a natural expression of the divine.
There it is.
And just everything around me is an expression of the source.
Well, you look good, but you don't look that good, John. But that's just from my perspective of reality.
Now, do I approve of this? No, I don't. I don't.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think that's what people should say, and that's just my opinion. I think people should just be honest and go, yeah, I've got X that I think, but is it a fact? No, but it doesn't need to be. That's the entire point. It defeats the objective of it. It's a fact if you got faith or belief.
Right.
Well, it is.
They're not
It
based
is,
on facts.
That's right. That's right, Scott.
it is called a faith. It's not called, a science. It is a faith. To hold belief in whatever one holds belief in.
Yeah, it's ambiguous to science itself. It doesn't. It's not something that's measurable in that regard.
I think you can discern and deduce things, but you can't prove anything.
You
can't know. Well, yeah, you can't know in that factual sense.
Exactly, and this is the problem with types of people who are really theistic, like Arcane. Well, you were trying to reduce faith to a logical thing when you don't need logic to believe in God. I mean, fuck. Show me any human who's logical. I'll give you a tenner. Most of us are fucking batshit crazy. Don't do anything logical.
Well said, Stan.
Yeah. I'm very pragmatic when it comes to stuff like that, So a lot of people don't get my style.
Value logic and reason very highly. Seems good. Seems very good. And yeah.
Well, them who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. That's I know it's the same, but I still think it rings true today.
It does apply somehow. It does. Glad we worked all that out.
Yep. We just solved the world's problems with so many people. Come on.
Maybe it will spread.
We should set up a Patreon account or something.
That's it, man.
Yeah, so people can donate to our show and shit and give us money.
That's right. It's called Everybody Relax. It's okay. Whatever it is you hold to be true, good.
Yeah. Free weed for everybody, unless you don't smoke.
Yeah.
And then you can watch us smoke down, so that's fine.
Lots of things to celebrate, Hey, there it is.
What do you think it is with fundamentalists? Why people are so fundamental, so extreme to their belief? What you say? Fear, right? That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask that.
Fear.
Is it ultimately fear?
No, I believe it is.
Well, really, it's if you take it seriously and it's that real of a concept to you, you don't want to mess up, and it's hard to believe that one man or one God would forgive you all the things that you can't even forgive yourself of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. So I ended up feeling like I had to work or add something to it until some friends of mine pointed me to what grace meant.
A lot of peeps say things compulsively because they feel like they're obligated to say what is true, or they're obligated to proclaim what they believe is true, and they do so out of fear. They do so out of fear, like, if I believe in what is true, then I have to blab it with a PA horn at 3 in the morning in my neighborhood at 200 decibels. They have to scream it. They have to scream it, like our neighbor hillbilly preacher. I surmise that he feels compelled to utter condemnation, to spew condemnation and ratings of other people. And if he doesn't, he feels guilty. He feels afraid if he doesn't.
He's on a mission.
Yeah, it's a mission.
It's to save himself.
Well, yeah, I think you might be right. He's spreading the news because he thinks that pleases God, and maybe he thinks that's the way to add to it, like I was trying to add to it by keeping the law. He's out on mission.
I would submit this to you for consideration, that grace scares him. Grace is frightening, and
trust.
Yeah, it's frightening. It's an assault on what keeps him unafraid. Acting like a holy teacher helps him not be afraid. And if he hears grace, that kind of makes all his little actions not worth a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of makes him more afraid. grace can make men more afraid, unfortunately.
Well, you know, the thing is if Hillbilly's going to be honest with himself and he thinks about what Jesus would have done, and certainly Jesus came in contact with homosexuals while he was out there, but you don't read an account of him chewing anybody down about it. As a matter of fact, you don't find him distinguishing between any of the people that were so-called sinners. And remember, a tax collector was being called a sinner at the time, and that's just a profession that people didn't like because it meant you were working for Rome. So there was all kind of things that were called sin, and you know, and Jesus was amongst all of them. So I don't know where Hillbilly, you know, where if he really thinks about it, how he could avoid saying Jesus would not do what I'm doing.
There's something in the book of Hebrews that outlines sin consciousness as immature and inappropriate. To be all focused on the minutia, on whether you litter, or that there's something about sin consciousness that is inappropriate and unenlightened. I like that. That's
I want to make a confession.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We know you like little pink unicorns. It's okay.
It's okay. It's a little you don't grow out.
We wouldn't talk about it. I'm gonna be honest. I was a YouTube troll, and one of my issues used to be, you know, gay marriage and really homosexuality and whether it's a choice or not. And those were things that I don't know why I obsessed over them. I don't know. I guess I was offended, like what you know, Sty said earlier about, you know, changing the definition of marriage, and you know, and I don't know why that was important to me.
No, but people feel strongly about that. You got to understand that it's not that it's a small issue. It's the fact that it's a big issue to someone, but trying to help them understand that it's only a word. That's not going to stop you believing in God or make your conviction of God any less than it is. And you know, I know it takes a bit of while to get used to, but like, I'm a heterosexual, you know. Am I asked about gay people? No. Why? Because I'm not gay. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. You know, if someone wants to be gay, then I don't fucking care. You just got to give a sense of freedom to yourself to go, well, that's somebody else. I wouldn't like somebody else to take my freedom away to say I don't care.
Right.
So, you know.
Well,
it may be
gay
born
people
of,
don't care you're heterosexual. So
it may have been born of envy. In other words, if I can't bang all the young girls, then you guys can't go around banging each other. You know, if I can't, I feel like shit.
That's a good analogy, sadly.
Yeah, envy. A lot of I noticed that fearlessness is easy to envy. Fearmongers, they sometimes seethe at those who are not afraid. Enviously seethe. They say, "Oh, look at those little dumbasses." You know, look at them all unafraid, unenlightened, uneducated. Anyway, bottom line, envy, fearlessness. Let's say fearlessness of God is sometimes very easy to envy. It's like, look at you little scrubs out there partying in high heels, you know, drinking like there ain't no tomorrow, fornicating, you know. It's like, I don't get to fornicate. Hell no. You don't either. You don't either. Hell no, you little scrubs.
Yeah,
you know?
it makes them mad.
I had my season of that. That's not.
Yeah.
But let me be honest now, because this is for Hillbilly, because I want him to understand that I'm not coming from a place that's different from where he's at right now. And so I'm going to say that I think that when you look at how a Christian views the world being a temporary place, the material existence being a very temporary thing, we shouldn't be making a big deal over this, because every time we put a stumbling block in front of these people, we're pushing them farther and farther away from the love of Christ. We are pushing them. They're never going to listen to a word we say as long as we're condemning them. And although I never told anyone online that they were going to burn in hell forever and ever for being a homosexual, I was still very much, it's a choice, you know, you should control that shit. And it's not my place to tell anyone what to do in the privacy of their own home or anywhere else, because I am not God.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Well, I don't.
No,
it's reckless to promote sticking your dick in a light socket.
Well,
or reckless free love. You know, free love. It's reckless, man.
You can survive the first.
Yourself up.
I assure you.
Stay away from the bus station. You know, it's a good thing to promote a little restraint. You know, I mean, some appetites are impossible to satisfy, and that's just the way it is. And to go headlong into uh, uh, unbridled
Buggery.
sexual appetite, that's trouble in that. It just is. It just is. Just to
Well,
go.
well, being gay is not about being. See, the thing is, being gay isn't about being sexually attracted to people. And I think this is the mistake some people do make. Is, well, it's not about sex. It's about love. And you show
Yeah.
you love your wife, and but they love
Nope.
their wives, but they just happen to have dicks. Sadly.
Right, right, and no one can
Yeah.
ever convince me that anybody's law could keep me from loving my wife. I mean, you
Exactly.
wouldn't- yeah.
We tried that shit. It doesn't work. Look at adultery and shit. People do that all the fucking time.
Well, it is written, all things are lawful, but not all things are good for the building up of the called. Some people don't like that. Some people like the Old Testament law that has now been fulfilled. They like that some things are forbidden, are unlawful.
Yeah.
And the new update is all things are lawful, and that's just the way it is. And that is a decree from on high that all things are lawful. Get over it. Get over it. I know you like clean living and all, but all things are lawful, and that's the way it is. And
You know-
some traditionalists are offended by that, deeply offended that
Yeah, well, you got to understand, Tommy. When even when if I was, even when I was a Christian and then started hearing the grace message and everything, but you got to understand that when some Christians hear you say that, what they hear is oh, Tommy's advocating do as you please, anything you
Yeah,
want.
Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
licentiousness. It's called licentiousness. It's called go for it, anything goes. Go rape your neighbor and steal their lawnmower, and go
Rape their lawnmower and steal the neighbor if you like it.
Yeah, that too. Kill, take, eat, consume, go crazy, go to Vegas, spend all your money. No, it's not licentiousness. It's just it's a matter of it's a matter of justification. It's a matter of what's condemnable. If the source says that it is now not condemnable, then he says it. What the hell can you do about it? Get over it. It's not a matter of licentiousness. It's a matter of peace. It's a matter of he can justly not condemn people, and that's kind of cool. That it's not a matter of endorsing reckless behavior. It's a matter of what once condemned us no longer condemns us because of what he did. It's not endorsing having sex with a lamp or anything like that.
Careful.
I just think it was
I thought we were going to leave personal stuff out of this.
Sorry. Please don't condemn me. God doesn't.
What I tell you in private stays in private, sir.
That's it. Didn't mean to let the cat out of the bag there.
So yeah.
But I hear you, Bro Joe. It is a breathtaking proposal that murder, pedophilia, rape, stealing lawnmowers, or having sex with a lamp is lawful.
I love lamp.
It is not condemned. Those things won't condemn a man, or God doesn't have to hold it against a man for those things, even those abominable things, such as lamp sex.
God, man, easy.
I know, man. It's harsh word. It's harsh. But that's grace, man. And Apostle Paul, he got a load of shit over it. He got a load of shit over grace. And there were a lot who screamed, licentiousness, you're against the law. You're against the law. But he went on to extrapolate that he upheld the law, that the law was fulfilled. And, he got a lot of grace.
I look at it like this: God got the discipline stuff out of the way so we can hang out.
Yeah,
He used Jesus. I mean, unfortunately, that was the whipping boy, and now we can hang out because he's not mad at me anymore.
Yes, and be at peace. You know, be at peace. That immaturity or even evil behavior is no longer a problem. It's no longer a problem that he is justly required to condemn. He's no longer required by justice to condemn anyone.
Well, I hear atheists say all the time, especially our beloved Carlton, when he talks about, you know, it's not fair because we're born, I think it was Carlton that says we're born in sin. We don't really have a choice, if that's what you want to call it, and it seems like God could have done, you know, different. The idea that we're born in sin. And
What? We're born imperfect.
Right, right, and that God, you know, why would God create us imperfect and with Him the only one that could save us?
Well, okay. The only logical reason why God would make you imperfect is to actually keep you on your toes anyway. I mean, if you was perfect, it'd be a bit fucking boring, wouldn't it? No offense.
Well,
There's a method and a madness there if you think about it. I'm not saying God exists, but I'm saying if that's the case, then yeah, to be imperfect would be to be the perfect being, because it would learn, it would do all the stuff that, you know, it'd be like growing a plant. I mean, fuck, just put a plant and feed it, and it'll give it some water. Plant does what the fuck it wants. It's still a plant.
well,
But
that's
it's
what
still
I'm.
beautiful, right? It still does its own little thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning this about the law. See, I always look at the law as these do's and don'ts, but there's a when the law's being given, there's something that is said, you know, that this is my character. God is saying, this is my character. This is who I am, you know. Because the question Moses asked is like, you know, I want to know you, I want to see you. And so God starts listing off these things about himself, and they line up with this law. And we can't be God. We can't do it. We try and we fail. We can't be everything that God is, you know, or see the world exactly how He does. But that's the thing. We can see the divide between ourselves and Him, because He can do these things, and He proved it.
You know, William, this comes back to a little bit what I was saying earlier about
Right.
the concept of God, because you have this concept of this is the character of God, is laid out in His laws. This is what His expectations are. This is the curses and the blessings, and you know, this is your concept, how you interpret, you know, this God from reading in the text. But you got to keep in mind, and now you're reading someone else's concept of God.
Interpretation, yeah, interpretation.
Mm-hmm. So now we put such reliance and faith on another person's concept of God. Now we have to look at the context of how they were viewing God at such a, you know, couple of thousands of years ago.
Yeah, John. But I mean, I would have.
You know what I'm trying to say, and that how do you not see that this can be very limiting?
Because Jesus confirmed the things that Moses said. Jesus had the opportunity to rebuke certain things, and He did.
But he didn't stone the whore.
That's right. He didn't, because He was the punishment. I mean,
and listen to this one-liner, William. The law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came by Christ Jesus.
Amen.
There is a distinction between law and Jesus.
That's right. He came to pay.
So when you say that the law portrays the character of God, makes my hair stand on end.
Well, no, it's saying that these are the things that bring me pleasure when I see people, you know, caring and respecting their parents and not stealing and not doing this and that.
Outline's good. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying this is just God's opinion of things.
The law is elementary. It's juvenile.
Right. But what I'm saying, this is okay. Again, and I know this is.
I'm gonna agree with Brojo on this one. I know exactly what you're gonna say. I agree.
Yeah, you know, again, you're going back to the book, right? Your reference point is stuck at that book, all right? Because you brought up Moses and Jesus.
That's right.
I mean, now we have no, you know, besides the point, we have no conclusive evidence that either of two of these existed, okay? And besides a lot of the book and what came out of a specific culture at a specific time. Because when you say, okay, this is, you know, now how we see God, but how about all the people in all the other regions of the world, religions even older than Judaism, have their idea of what God expects or what it is and stuff like
That's
that.
right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is can you know? Is it possible for? It is
You're
possible, but
asking.
yeah.
Are
Go
you
ahead.
asking me why I don't doubt the book?
I guess
Kind
this
of.
conversation comes down to that. I feel and you know I've been there again. I've been there 30 years.
Hmm.
Is that faith is more in the book than what the book is about. It comes
Yeah.
down to as simple as people are mistaking the menu for the meal.
Yeah. I like that one. I like that one, bro, Joe. I like that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I would have
High five to you.
to endorse that proclamation in this way, that there's a scripture that says the law is not of faith, and to believe in a book is very different than believing in love and believing in the truth. I mean, the book is almost irrelevant compared to, or is not the same thing. Somebody can believe in some book and have very little belief in love or believe in what's truthfully reasonable. And there is to suspect the validity of Old Testament writings. That's legit, man. Who knows? Who
I don't
knows?
mind that you guys are suspicious of it. I'm fine with that.
Yes. It seems.
It's not no, I don't say suspicious. I think bro, Joe, and also
To overesteem it. In a way,
yeah.
it seems reckless. It
You're
seems
you're putting the cart before the horse.
something like that
Yeah.
is very.
I don't know how to explain that otherwise.
But I'm okay with that.
Let's. I almost built a parody piece called a Holy Bible Worship Center, where.
Great.
Oh my god. That would have been awesome. Just
Yeah, I know. Where you come and worship the Bible, and then it would rotate out from the King James to the New King James to the New American Standard to the American Standard to the NIV, if you're NIV neutral or NIV positive.
I love
Everybody,
your little jokes, sorry.
yeah, man, everybody could have their chance to worship the Bible of their, or hypervenerate, or whatever they wanted to do to it, fawn over it, call it God, whatever they wanted to do, you know, pleather or leather, whatever they preferred. If they wanted to worship a book, that they could come and worship the book. And it was just a wistful piece of parody art. Because in some ways, to worship a book is not to worship what's good. You know, that there's something
But are
about.
Christians worshiping the book and not even knowing it? Because that's what seems to be. It's all the debate
Yes.
about what's written in the book.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it said the Bible becomes this idol in a sense.
Yes, in a sense, yes. I would have to.
exactly spot on there. The book is the idol at that point. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. A self-fulfilling prophecy. Sorry.
It's a juvenile way to esteem truthful words, perhaps. You know, it's almost like a simplistic way. Or it's like dancing around a caricature of a god, dancing around it and fawning over it. And
So let me clarify then. This whole Jesus thing, probably just irrelevant, right? I don't even need to worry about that, right?
well, I would have to say absolutely true, that there's nothing worth being worried over.
No, I mean he's not even anything to consider because
No,
you know,
he is.
wait, only by
Go on,
what
sorry.
was
Go on,
wait,
Michael.
by what was just said, we are not even sure that he actually existed at all.
Mhm.
So,
I believe those words are true.
well, no, wait, I'm not quite done. I'm not quite done. Now, if I'm without,
Come on, guys. This is a good convo. This actually.
okay,
Go ahead.
what
William.
I'm saying is that there can we name another place where the actions or the sacrifice of Jesus, if it were real, could be found? I mean, is there any other place besides the Bible where we could find out
Quran.
that our sacrifice? No, I mean, he
No,
might have
literally,
been.
it's in the Quran. His name's
He is?
ISIS.
That's right. Well, no, I mean, Jesus is a prophet of the in the
No,
Islamic faith.
actually, the Muslims believe everything that was written in the Bible about Jesus is actually true. They've never
Except
denied
that
it.
he's not God.
No, it never. Well, he never.
Okay.
He's the son of Jesus.
But what
He
I'm
said he's
saying
the
is,
son of God. But well, whatever. That's different denominations. But the point.
if Jesus is the way to salvation, if
Well, you
that
can
is
look
that
at the
all true?
message.
If
Well,
okay.
Oh shit! I'm gonna shut off and let you finish.
I'm just saying we need to be able to validate that if Jesus is the Lamb of God, the sacrifice for sins, then where else can we find that that is what his goal was? That's what he did, other than the Bible. Because without that, you really don't have anything to base a belief on. A sacrificial lamb at all.
Okay, there is word of mouth. In other words, if I happen to open my mouth and proclaim that the Lord Jesus Christ was crucified, buried, and rose from the dead on the third day for the forgiveness of sin, that is one way in which those precepts are communicated apart from a Bible. That would be the spoken message of God. Then there's the written message of God, and yes, is what I said in print. But anyway, I don't know if that addresses your contemplation, William. But there is another way in which this living message is communicated, and it's by word of mouth. It's not necessarily just in print. If somebody burns a Bible, they haven't burned God.
No, I write mine all the time.
I hear you. Oh well. When I was a kid, I'd use the pages that didn't have print on them as a rolling paper if I needed to.
We've all been there.
Yeah,
Smoke that Bible, bitch.
But I wouldn't.
But you guys still gotta believe and have faith that the people who came together to put together the Bible were, in some
honest.
sense,
Believers.
honest, infallible. This was all directed by the hands of God.
Not infallible.
Okay.
Not at all.
Because there were many different ideas of what Jesus was the first couple hundred years.
Each account is written in the personal style and in the perspective of the disciple that witnessed it.
Yes, and the
John spoke of love.
But you do know that these names that are attributed to the Gospels are not actually the people who wrote the Gospels. I mean, this is
right.
Really,
they ascribe.
Yeah, of course. It's suspicious, John. It very well could have been redacted, edited, changed, added to, and it obviously has in some verses. Some translations are piss poor. Some are translated from letters that only go back to 400 AD or something, and different councils have cooked it, rebaked it, etc. That's all, very true. Are the words truthful from God in all their warts and all? Are they truthful?
Yeah, but see, this has always been my contention now. Okay,
Well,
if this is to be, if this is to be, the words of God that we're supposed to all, for the way of salvation. Okay.
Right.
If we're talking about eternity and where you're going to be, I mean, this is, would be, if this is the utmost important thing, all right, that one should be concerned about, because you only here a limited time, so eternity is the goal here. Okay, so if that's the goal in mind of where you're going to be, if this is it, if this is God's goal in mind, should I say?
Seems like you could have done a little better job, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I would say there would have been a better book written, that original words would have been preserved. Maybe Jesus even writing something down and putting his thumbprint on it, and leaving a little DNA behind or something, because, God can see the future. This would, that it would leave no doubt in anybody's mind, because the goal is to get everybody into heaven.
Plausible deniability.
The thing is, right,
he's into plausible deniability, John.
No, it's not. It's the convolutedness of it that makes people doubt that there's a being that creates it. It's because like exactly what John just said. If you created the universe and all that good stuff, and you created Adam and Eve, why did you give up after the snake and then come back 1 billion or fucking whatever years later and then bring your son, who's yourself, plop yourself on Earth and say, I'm gonna die for everybody, oh, by the way, you're all a bunch of sinners, so pray to my ass, so you're not getting it. It's just so mind-bendingly wacky. And the other part that's wacky about this story is it forgets like the rest of the planet while it does it. Like there's plenty of religions you've got no idea who the fuck Jesus is and believed in some crazy gods. What is their story not as
Well,
kosher
maybe
as yours? Not yours.
Maybe theirs is not as truthful, but at the same time, maybe God's not a stingy bitch. Maybe
How
cover
Yeah, but
and
Tommy, how can you say that theirs isn't as truthful? How do you even measure that truth?
I said maybe.
And before we go any further, let's try not to take this personal. Let's just deal with the ideas. Let's discuss the ideas and not take this personal. I'm just questioning
again, you said it before. You said it was a matter of faith, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that.
Look, it does seem fucktarded. I can empathize with the view that it seems screwy and bizarrely weird, but I haven't come to the place of esteeming Scripture overnight. It has gradually become more sensical and cogent, and I can't help but hold it to be sensical and whatever sensical is. I can't help it but to see it as very intricately, just mind-blowingly cogent. But there was a time in the past where, Christianity, what the hell was that? Bible schmibel. Who knows who wrote it? Why trust this book at all to be from God, after all the redactions, editorials? And look at the stories it tells. They just don't seem to somehow make sense. But gradually, over time, their reputation, their poor reputation was shed. I found it personally to be much more cogent than what I learned in my youth or what I heard about these writings, that these writings were totally bizarrely, Noah's flood or whatever, was marketed as silly folly, childish legend. And but once I began to munch on the different precepts of the book, gradually it became more. It didn't live up to its reputation.
Tom, I still get some inspiration from the Bible, okay? But with some of the stories, I don't think one needs to take the stories literal to get inspiration, or even for it to convey a message. No different than, any other book,
John, good. That's one way in which the Bible was suggested to me, was to get what yummy you could out of it, and what was just, maybe it's to consider it as possible legend, as possible allegory, but you don't have to consider it as literal. And that seems like a very wise way to not have to consider it as literal, to get a lot of yum out of it. I mean, because there is a lot of yum in there apart from any literal interpretation of it. Any. And,
I love the quote. There's a quote by Bruce Lee, and I guess it referred to his the martial arts styles that he used, but as much as, because of his philosophy as well. And he would say, take what is useful,
exactly.
And use it for you, and throw everything else out.
The Tao of Jeet Kune Do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they actually did with Kung Fu.
And reject everything else. If it's not practical, if it doesn't jive, if it seems irrational to take anything literally, by all means don't. By all means. It's totally counterproductive to have to take something literally. There is no requirement to take it literally. And I found that very helpful, because the Bible's an interesting book, a lot going on in it. And it was damned weird to read it as if it had to be taken literally, or the whole thing.
Well, just read the first sentence and take that literally. This fucking in the beginning, God made blah blah blah, and then it's like, let's make men in our image. I'm sorry, did you know how to spell in English and have grammatical? That's the biggest grammatical error ever in the Bible. let's make men in our image. Shouldn't it be in my image?
No, that's appropriate.
No,
Yeah,
ours.
It's
Who's
the
ours?
God. It's the
Ours is plural,
Godhead.
motherfucker. No,
It's
Yeah,
it's
speaking
not.
of
It's
the.
plural.
that's allegedly.
It
that
is
was-
plural. It's
Yeah.
speaking of the Godhead.
There is no Godhead. He is God. What are you talking about?
It's not that simple.
No, it is that simple. It's either he's a schizophrenic or he's not. One of the two.
The
Using
word
the
there,
terminology.
yeah, the word there is Elohim. It's
Elohim.
Elohim, plural
Yeah.
form, and some interpret as. I know Christians like to use that for the Trinity, uh, but it could be a pantheon of gods. It could be a godly council. It could be God and His
It
angels. You know,
speaks of the heavenly host plenty
the
like that.
heavenly host.
The sons of God.
Neptune, who knows?
B'nai
Neptune.
Elohim.
It's still stupid if he was the dude writing this shit. I mean, this is the point. It's just because you just give me 20 interpretations of what one word means. This is the point of why the Bible itself is convoluted. You can
Yeah.
take whatever you think from it, and that's why you get terrorists today who believe in the Quran, who go around chopping off heads because they interpret that's the way it should be
Well,
interpreted.
there's other parts of the Bible other than that. For instance, this
Yeah, no, I'm just being facetious.
stolen bread is sweet, but it turns to stone in your stomach. Okay, that's kind of a yummy little one-liner in Proverbs that has nothing to do with Elohim or that controversy. So, in one way, my point is that there may be yummy stuff to consider in this compilation of books that is apart from the convoluted stuff.
Like,
That is
stay away from the immoral woman, though her lips be red like wine, her kiss
Evil
be like the sting of venom. Yeah.
or something like that. Or there's other interesting, like in the book of John, Jesus's interaction with religious hypocrites. That was one thing I found really yummy when I first heard part of the Bible was Jesus's attitude towards religious hypocrites and his attitude towards hookers. You know, that was yummy and not convoluted at all. So my grand point is to shit can the whole book because of some first sentence that appears convoluted may be a bit premature. To call the whole book worthless because
I never called it worse.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
No, well, there's things in the Bible I agree with, like thou shalt not kill. Well, hello.
Thou
Who
shalt not commit
the fuck disagrees with that one? You know? I mean, there's things in it that are common sense. That's why people can relate to it, because it makes, like, most of it's common sense, but some people don't agree with it because to them, that's not their life. And that's why there's a big disagreement over it, because when people say, it's how you must live, according to this said book, it's like, you don't even live by it, so why should I believe anything you fucking say? You're the biggest hypocrite. This is the point I'm trying to make out. People who profess to live by it, I'm not talking about you guys, but what I'm saying is you get the hardliners of any book, actually, and not just the Bible. I don't want to just make this fucking let's hate the Bible day or whatever. I'm talking about people in that general who profess to say a certain thing or do a certain thing and profess this is how you should live. I'm sorry, but they're the biggest hypocrites. You know, look at YouTube. Look at these people who are scamming people every day in churches. Give us your money and God will save you. No, we fucking won't.
Right. If I was to put the same measuring stick against, Christian hillbilly, it's no secret, and I'm not saying anything new here. But if I was to put the same measuring stick against, him that he uses against gays, well, I'm sorry, Christian hillbilly. Look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You're a few pounds overweight there, and one would say that you're living in a sin of gluttony. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Nope.
Your body's a temple of God. So yeah.
That's a fat temple. Just saying. That's a big ass temple.
So yeah, I mean, this goes back to people judging other people to the level that they judge themselves.
Oh, good.
You know?
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. All right. See you shortly. Bye.
Yeah.
That's so
And
true.
they wind up making the same mistake that that you were just talking about, preaching against the religious folks.
Yeah.
They make the same mistake. So then when people like Tommy here come and talk, it's almost no different than Jesus talking against the religious hypocrites. Weird comparison, but
It's the same shit, though. You can't deny it.
Well, it's a shame that anybody stuffs a book down anybody's throat. That ain't good. That ain't good to worship some silly ass book or any book. It's not good to stuff it down people's throats and then to stand there like a pious lemon-sucking holy roller and make accusations.
Right.
It's just not good. It's
And
not enlightened. It's not loving. It's not
Right.
truthful to do that.
And in a way, I feel bad for those blind people because you know what? When I deconverted from Christianity, one thing that came off was a giant burden off of my mind, off my shoulders. All right, and this was one of strict judgment. Okay,
Yeah.
because I would view people as you're either saved or you're not saved. You're either, and if you're saved, you're doing it according to blah 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 blah, and this is what the definition of what a saved person is.
Right.
Okay, all right, and this is how I would look at people. Now, when I deconverted, it's no longer that just flew off. All right, and the other idea of God actually reading every little thought in my mind, gone. It is so freeing and liberating, that now I can look at people and just judge them by their character. Is what they say match up? Is what they do match up with what they're saying? Okay, it's so much simpler. It's so much easier. I'm less judgmental on myself. I don't think God is watching every little thought that seeing every little thought I'm having or every little action, to put me in this cage of guilt and condemnation that then I go spew it on others because that's my outlet to kind of justify me doing it to myself is by doing it onto others.
Brojo.
Well, may you never have to go back to that, John.
Never.
And may you never have to look at other human beings and see and decide or judge or see them as different or subhuman or born again or anything. May you never have to go back to that. May you never have to feel watched.
You can't. You can't go back to it. You can't go back to it. And people have no idea. Like my own wife, or all the Christians, who say they're praying for me to come back to the church, and they have no idea. Once you go over this outside the forest, you see the trees, from the forest. You cannot go back. There's no going back for me. I can't, and I can't express it to someone who is in the forest. Because how can I express somebody? I could, use any kind of analogies and metaphors and try to explain it, but a person has to come to the same realization or their own path, just like I did. When the light goes on, there's an awakening, and I cannot convey that to anyone. I cannot show you that. I can point the way, but you have to see it yourself. Then you'll be like, aha, now I get it.
Hey, Brojo.
Yeah.
You've known me since about when I started getting on these hangouts. We've been in plenty of hangouts together, right? And you've been observing. You've been kind of judging, and you've been doing it without the construct of a religious construct in there, right? So, what do you know about me?
Well,
what do you believe about me? How about that? What do you believe about me?
I believe that you are down to earth. I like your down to earthness. I think I've already seen from when you first came on here. You did express that you weren't very legalistic minded, right?
Right.
And that your this grace message is it's been a struggle for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're in a transition, and I think even in the short amount of time I've seen you seem to be more gracious, maybe even to yourself. I know a lot of people probably judge you. I mean, like even curse words, it's like to hear a Christian say a curse word. For another Christian to hear a Christian say a curse word, it's like blasphemy to them,
Yeah.
So, but to be able to even use that language, I think shows that you are, getting less legalistic, because these are just words, right?
Right.
Words.
Exactly.
People will attach a meaning to these things. I had a big thing about this with my wife just last night. And I don't want to get into all the details. But the word, fuck came out, and right, it's one thing to say the word fuck, I think, then to another thing to say fuck you. That's where the cursing comes in. The bad thing is when you curse somebody. You
Yeah.
damn somebody. It's another thing just to say the word fuck or fucking or shit or all these other things. But if I'm not cursing you, then there's no offense. Do you see the difference? I mean
Yeah,
that's
of course.
yeah.
Well, you're being really polite though. I'm wanting the critique.
Well, no, go ahead. I won't interrupt, please.
Because I know you probably feel like I'm a caged creature within my own religious construct, right?
A little bit, yeah, yeah. I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Okay,
Mhm.
but what I'm trying to tell you is I don't feel caged anymore.
Good,
The legalism thing is gone, but
good.
I do believe that God knows my mind and my heart, but I don't fear him judging it. I don't fear
Okay.
it anymore because I feel like I understand now what Jesus was doing. It didn't make sense to me before, but now it does, and I don't feel the shame that I would feel from, let's say, swearing, or I don't spend a whole lot of time worrying that if someone was offended by the fact that I called you know uh, I said something was a bitch or whatever, that I called out some word that they thought was inappropriate for a Christian to say.
So you're out of the woods and in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but see, I don't feel bound, um, by the scriptures or whatever. I don't, not even a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's restricting me from doing anything that I want because I'm forgiven for doing anything that I want. Am I not?
See,
I
see,
mean,
the issue is, oh, if I should tell, if I'm
Well,
gonna, let me use words from the Bible. Say, what we were just discussing, God created man in our own image, right? When in fact, a lot of the times, most of the times, it's man creating God in their image, and and when specifically when you get to the Judeo-Christian and Islamic belief, the Abrahamic faiths, okay, the image of God is this one of a king, this one of the guy in the sky looking over everything, being in a sense a dictator. This is the image of God that you've placed in your mind.
yeah.
Um, how the image that I have, okay, it is a little bit different. When I say source, I don't say that it's either good nor bad. It's 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 as
It
in a
is.
sense. If I'll try to use metaphors as much, I'll try to use a metaphor like it's like electricity. Okay, um, it's amoral. There's no morality in it. The morality comes is when how you use that electricity, the man, the individual, how you choose to use the source, that the life that's been given you, your choices. That's where now it becomes good or bad, or perhaps I'd rather say beneficial or unbeneficial.
Well, that's all subjective then.
Right. Yeah, it is.
So then morality is completely subjective.
I would say so. Why do I need a dictator?
Not a dictator, but a programmer.
You know, it may be subjective, but like we can agree that killing another human being is not beneficial.
Murdering is not beneficial. Killing
Hmm.
can be very rewarding.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, you take the Ten Commandments. It seems like there's an exception to almost every rule there, right? There's always an exception.
What do you mean?
Well, like killing, say. I would not say killing is wrong if you're defending yourself or your family.
That's
You
not.
know,
That's not. I mean, that's killing, but it's not murder. The
right? It's
commandment
not.
is don't commit murder. Do not strike out at a rage. Don't kill to steal something from someone. Don't you know? It's not like that. But defending yourself or even fighting in a battle, you're gonna kill. You're gonna go hunting and you're gonna kill. You're gonna step on ants on the sidewalk and you're gonna kill. So you
Hmm.
could dissect that, but what it says is thou shalt not commit murder.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I'm not making. I'm not. This is what it says. It's not me making a caveat for it because you can talk about theft if you want to. It says don't steal, right?
Right.
I mean, what
But
loophole?
would you steal if you had no money and your child was starving to feed the child?
Of course, I would.
Yeah. Do you think God would condemn you for that because He said don't steal?
I don't think
It's
he would
written in
agree. I don't
stone.
think.
That's the thing. It's written in stone.
I think it's because of my nature that I would have to take property that belongs to someone else in order to solve my own problem. And it would be wrong to do it, but you do wrong to survive. There's nothing pragmatic about being moral. There's nothing useful about it. If you imagine, if you were a Viking, where would morality get you? If you're raping and pillaging and taking what you want and sailing away, how does stopping to help an old lady, across the street or into a carriage, how the fuck would that be beneficial? There's nothing about manners or even having mercy or pity on them that's just a waste of time. You can get to the top of the food chain by killing everything in your way, but in order to tolerate and be moral and deal lovingly with people, that kind of slows your progress. And if you're even worse, if you're charitable, how does that benefit you? But we are these things. We do recognize good. We know it when we see it, when we smell it, when we taste it. We recognize music when we hear it because there's a design to it. We know when it's noise and we want it to fucking stop, and we know when notes are aligned in a system that works, and it sounds, we can agree, melodious. It moves our spirit. So I'm thinking that this is just how we're designed. We can't be as good as God. We'll sin, but He knew that, and that's where Jesus comes in. Now, whether he is a if it's just the source, can Jesus' sacrifice mean anything? No. But then again, neither would sin, right? Sin wouldn't mean anything. And that would free me to be as pragmatic as I wanted to be. But the thing is, I wouldn't want it. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to be powerful. I don't need to slay my enemies just to get ahead. I don't need to do any of those things. Right? Because
you don't have to do any of those things to be pragmatic.
I'm saying, if you really want to get to the top fast, the wicked tend to benefit quickly because they don't have the baggage of morality slowing them down. They can be as ruthless as they want to be, and a sociopath is going to be a tremendous force in the business world because there's no sympathy for anyone else. It's just take, and that's fine. If that's and there's nothing, I guess, subjectively wrong with that for him, but for the rest of us, I mean, we might feel a little put out to be screwed over so someone else could make $1. And you say you wouldn't do that because why? Because it's wrong. Well, how is it wrong? If there is no design to our makeup, how do we agree on what's right and wrong so readily over, let's say, a child or something like that? Yet animals eat their young. I bored Tommy to death. He
stepped away for a second. I guess it still comes back. I mean, I don't know. I see what's beneficial. That's what's good. And I think ultimately most of societies have agreed that killing your neighbor or stealing from your neighbor, it's not beneficial. That societies agree upon certain things because it's good for the whole of society and for it to flourish, to prosper. You can't have mass chaos, and pillaging and all this stuff going on. You have to have some kind of order. It's recognized that we have to have some kind of order.
I think there's a debate about exactly how much order there should be, though.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as the government stuff, I mean, me and I think agree. Less government, the better.
Does power corrupt?
Well, they say absolute power corrupts Absolutely, right?
Yeah. But do you believe that power can corrupt? Have you ever had a position of power where you had control over someone else's everything?
No, I haven't. Don't think I want that.
I mean, you would for a while. It's a rush.
Mm,
I mean, it really is. It's,
imagine.
you know, you, when you're responsible for every person in there, and you could abuse that power at any time. You can abuse that power. That takes some restraint. But why? I mean, why do people fight it? Why do people fight? Not everyone does, of course. Some people will take that power and they will utilize it and exploit anyone that they can. But some people refuse to let that power, corrupt them, or at least they fight it as long as they can, and will run from it. Like you said, you wouldn't want that. You would like it at first. But I think you're right, John. I think you wouldn't be able to do it very long before you realize that you can't honestly be as kind or giving as you want to be doing what you do, and still, and still have that kind of power, because every time you soften to someone, you weaken. Your power is lessened in those kind of environments. You allow yourself to be questioned. You step down off your high horse. And you start wondering, can you maintain control? That's what I'm saying. When it comes to power, these people who can take those reins and not look back, they're going to rise up. They're going to rise up because they don't have moral baggage. And that's where you find some of your biggest sociopaths, is climbing the ladders of power, because it's not pragmatic or useful to be baggaged down with morality.
I hereby announce that I am sick of thinking of God
Yes,
and all
I agree. I
and
agree.
all things biblical, and that I am not required to abide thoughts of my Father or our Christ Jesus for longer than I feel like it. That is all.
Ding,
But William,
ding,
what is
ding.
going on now? I think, eventually people will have enough, right? I mean, these kind of things, when people do take this kind of absolute power and control, that this is what spurs revolutions. I think what happens is the balance naturally comes. You can't have a small group of people controlling everything. It's just,
Do you see globalization as something that's going to be happening?
you mean like this one world currency
No, I mean
or economic?
a one world like governmental structure, where you have like one world court, and then you have smaller courts that are representative of the world court.
New World odor.
I don't think I see it coming anytime soon. Um, you know, we're all only because people take pride. They're nationalistic. They're proud of their country and their sovereignty, and um,
Mm-hmm.
would not be so easy to let go of that. And I don't know, and I don't think that'd be a good thing. Um,
You don't think that a global governance system would be a good thing?
no.
Is it because of what we were just talking about those that manage to get to the top, or those ruthless enough to climb?
Yeah. What are we gonna have, like everybody a voting day for everybody in the world? I mean, is it gonna be? I don't know what the
Hell,
system looks like.
I'm not
Yeah.
setting that system up, man. That's not my idea. I certainly don't want it.
I mean,
I
World,
like my individuality.
World Anarchy Day.
Uh-huh.
Man, damn it, Tommy! Every time I see you smoking, it makes me want to go over there and ask my neighbor for a cigarette, but I'd have to go
As an
past.
apology, sir,
No, I'm gonna have to go and do that shit.
mm.
And then later on, my wife will hear this and be like, "Did you go smoke another cigarette? I thought you said you were gonna quit." I'm like, "Yeah, I did say that. I do say that a lot."
You're missing your lungs hurting. Think about your lungs.
No,
they hurting.
I'm almost out of weed. I'm almost out of weed. That's why I'm like, I gotta smoke something. I don't do that unless I start running low on weed. But when I run low on weed, I'm like, man, got this nervous kind of energy. I'm like, man, I gotta do something.
Oh well, at this point, we're over. I try to keep these things around 2 hours long. These live hangouts, like we covered so much.
Bye, people. Bye.
We covered so much ground of different topics, and it's been another great hangout. Happy Hump Day, everybody.
Happy
And
Hump Day, peeps.
Thank you.